I guess my phone data was full, so this is going to be part 2 to that segment. And I apologize that I don't really have a very clear intention other than being fully honest with myself and like the whole, so that the whole can be honest with themselves. And I'm not trying to scare people away from getting massage work, you know what I mean? But I'm also not encouraging everybody to just go try to take advantage of your massage therapist to get your healing that you need, you know? And I don't appreciate like how the sexual energy has been like abused and made to seem as something bad, because none of us would exist without it. But it is kind of difficult to rehab those sexual experiences without re-experiencing past conditioning. There's a huge level of extreme exhaustion. And it seems to be the only option is to just breathe and be. I can witness all these things that I've done to try to escape my feelings and to escape like what's happening in my consciousness. Like when I have flashbacks of like ex-partners who have done this or that, but then also the guilt of feeling like I'm the one that tortured my own self because I chose to be with these people. And that most of all that I allowed it to continue. And like honestly, like this all goes back to like the goddess energy, like where I'm like training myself to be like super commanding of my boundaries and to not let things be crossed. Like sometimes it feels like a curse to like look the way that I do or to be the way that I am. And other times I feel very, very special and like I am unique and I'm wonderful. And that like maybe by me being myself, like other people can just like come to know themselves as openly and honestly as I am with myself. I'm not trying to be someone's toy. I'm not interested in being jerked around. I'm not interested in being lied to. I'm not interested in like someone being my daddy. You know, there's no daddy issues. I sincerely need support though. And like moral and emotional support more than anything. Like there was so many times where just like nobody was there. Like nobody was watching me. Nobody was guiding me. Like I learned everything myself the hard way through my own intimate experience with myself. And you could say and with God, because God's supposedly always there. And then I grew up hating God. I grew up hating God because all these bad things had happened to me I didn't understand. And then I started learning a little bit more about karma and genetic memory and ancestral records, Akashic records, past lives. I just became so obsessive with like all these different spiritual outlets. But like it seems like the whole world is owned by the Matrix, the material world of the Matrix and money. So I became kind of like obsessive with like being financially okay, as if that would mean that like I don't need a husband or I don't need anybody or anything. And then like I had another like I would say like resurrection or whatever. Like I died, like a big part of me died. I just wasn't the same person anymore. And like I've changed so much. And I'm constantly like doing this to myself, like regenerating myself. And yeah, like I'm working with mindfulness, so I'm intentionally planting seeds of thoughts. Like Like, when my mind just keeps focusing on the trauma, like how this girl did me like this, or how this person did this to me, this person robbed me, this person cheated on me, this person took advantage of me, this person used me in this way, this person taught me this and then did this person backstabbed me here, right? This person did this nice thing for me, but then they really just wanted this. Like, all those conditional loves and all those intentions. Like, I feel the sincere sense of knowing that there's like this one person who's for me. My true love, right? Like, this person who's going to know all of my shadows. Like, he's going to know like everything that's wrong with me and still love me. And for me, that's the only way that I'm ever going to find the person who really, really, really loves me, is that they are going to love all of me. They love me, not the idea of me. They love all my shadows. They see them. They understand them. I'm like the best specimen to them. And they want to kiss me all over. They want me to want them. And if I don't want them, they don't want to be around me because they want me to be happy. True love, like unconditional, like, it's really hard to explain, but I swear to God, sometimes I've experienced it, and excuse my judgments if I'm wrong, you know? All I know is that what is meant to be will be, and it's really important to me to keep working with the girls and the children, and to bring awareness to things like Pizzagate and like these ritualistic circumstances that are just like, again, generational curses. It just repeats in history over and over and over again. And I know some of my thoughts may make some of you uncomfortable, especially my honesty, and you feel like too much information. Maybe you wanted to use me for like your fantasy girl, but that's not what I'm here to do. Especially if you don't want to like support me, you know what I mean? You don't want to send me any money, you don't want to feed me, or you want to feed me if you can keep me. Like, I don't like it, like, that's not good. That's like not caring about me. That's for your gratification, not interested in making sure that my tissues release the stagnant energy and that they receive loving affections to each and every tiny cell that makes up a me. I swear, if I ever find if I get married, and I always think how like much I'm just so done with the world of entertainment, to be honest. So done. Like, I feel that way all the time. Like, I'm tired of being a mermaid and a Barbie doll, and tired of being like used as like your fantasy. I want to be me, which is why I'm turning more to the juggalo stuff, and like I can see all these levels of expressions of what it all means to me. But I'm still determined to return to that childlike innocence, return to the butterfly, and to heal from these demons, if you will. Now, if you love me and you love where I'm going with this, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to write down those merry things and take a few notes, and then I'll make like a little video talking about that. Now, don't get me wrong, I am an artist. There's like a lot of my stuff that is very like sensual and good and healing, and I can see like where self-love and like gratification, if you will, like can be a healing thing for you to actually know your own body and give yourself permission to receive those pleasures without feeling guilt or shame. Eliminating guilt and shame has definitely been one of the hardest sins to conquer. I would love to know what the scriptures say about things like that. Uncle Frank also talks about how we will never appeal to everybody and how important it is for us to appeal. He says, I gotta appeal to myself. I really like that because it's true. It's important for me to appeal myself and for me to do things that make me feel good and just like I've done the right thing. So like I keep wanting to apologize to like all my exes, like all the people that I just allowed sexual experiences with that basically like may not have been best for both of us. And there was like a transfer of energy where they like were just listening to their body. But really like I feel like a demon or whatever because like I was taken advantage of when I was a baby. And like I've been constantly since my childhood looking for true love, true tender care that was missing in my youth. And that I had experienced in fragments and little bits and pieces. But I have like this vision of this like best possible outcome where I'm with one partner and I'm 100% committed to that partner and just to have a quiet life. Because I grew up in my childhood like trying to be on stage, right? Like trying to be famous, trying to be some big somebody, some ego gratification thing. But the original intention when I created I Love Trina Mason and all the things was because I was hoping to be the change, to be a role model. But then I got sucked into the sexuality and the finances, and all these things really dominated my head. I got associated with the wrong people who had the wrong idea for me, who just thought I was really beautiful and thought that they wanted to love me. But then when they got to know me, it wasn't really me that they were in love with. Do you feel me? There's very few people who have ever actually taken the time to ask me questions to really get to know who I am. Most of the time when they ask, it's for their own, like, tack, you know, for them to take advantage and to be a liar and a cheater and a thief. But again, I love you, and I understand that we all fall down, we all do bad things, and then we have to live with ourselves for doing those things. And I'm not saying that we're supposed to just go over those things time and time again, but it is a personal process of constantly basically repenting, like realizing where we messed up and where we crossed our own boundary or where we crossed other people's boundaries. And then we can only act on that knowledge. We can only like contemplate. I forgot Uncle Frank's words. I'm trying to think of what he's... But it's basically like since I've had time to think about it, like I've come to new agreements about it within myself. Like I always beat myself up still to this day, like how the first time that like I was like conscious or whatever and molested, that I froze. I literally didn't do anything. It was just like my body's automatic response. And the same thing happened to me. I was in shock when I shattered my ankle. So I felt no pain. And I was just walking with my Converse. And like my body has healed with this metal thing inside of it, you know, and like I can function pretty well with the metal inside my body. But I am eager and hopeful to like be able to be non-bionic, if you will, and return to my full self. And I don't want to be a fool, you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to let the health insurance take advantage of me. I don't want like any bad energy going on like towards me about this surgery, and I want to be going in there confidently knowing that they can remove the screws and that the holes where the screws were in, that they will close. If it's going to be a fragile bone and only cartilage is going to form in there, like I need to know what's going to happen and what to expect, because like it might be worth it to just remove my inner screws that are rubbing up against each other instead of everything, or I'm not really sure. It'd be nice if I knew some people who actually have had their prosthetics removed, or like their hardware. It's called a hardware removal. Man, I'm just like exploring, and I can't lie, like I'm definitely leaning more towards healing women, but I don't want to be a sexist. And I really like the things that I'm doing, and I like the people who have come to be a part of my life. I'm not a fan of those that I constantly have to reinforce my boundaries with and block, and that they create multiple accounts. There's been a lot of people who have pretended to be my friend and hide behind the name of Jesus and other things that have really manipulated me and really messed with my head and made me really angry. And then like I would turn my anger inward, as Uncle Frank would say, and then it caused depression. And depression is, as Louise Hay says, is anger that we feel we don't have a right to have. And I'm kind of going through a lot of that. I'm going to continue my path of yoga. I'm committed to doing like conscious breathing. I'm thinking about doing like an hour of conscious breathing every day where I literally just do nothing but breathe. And different styles of breathing techniques. So I would love to go on YouTube and study some of those. So if you'd like to help, you could go ahead and send some YouTube videos on some breathing techniques that you found interesting. Don't send me something that you didn't even watch. You know what I mean? I'm really into like the yoga and the Vedic stuff. So there's like a lot of people who are on my channel now who actually know about these things. So if any of you that are new would like to be educators, you can email me at wewanttrina@aol.com.